Hi everyone. That makes no damn sense, girl. Can you get your intro together? I have no intro.
This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round.
My name is Crystal Lee, and on this channel I do vlogs about my life, my entrepreneurial life, my outside life. I do vlogs for the weekends, weekdays. I do whatever I feel like. And I also do chit chats about certain life topics, and today's topic is makeup. I want to talk about my experience with makeup, where I started and then where I am, and just to talk about like how doing makeup doesn't have to be the extreme of, you know, glam, wham, thank you ma'am. It could be just for beginners. So I'm gonna tell you how I got to where I am today, which is still like medium. Like honestly still medium. I still literally have a panic attack putting on lashes, so don't at me. But this video is specifically for people who are thinking of getting into makeup and just want to kind of up their game with makeup. So I'm gonna do is just talk to you about what I used to use, what I use now, and what I do when I use it, right? Just going over the timeline of my makeup journey. And whatever I talk about, hopefully it'll like help you out with your journey. So let me bring you closer. There we go. Let me put on some chapstick because we need it. Okay, so let's start by pinning our hair back. Sheddy as in it sheds. It's not shitty hair. I really like this piece, but is it going to help me? It's going to do the best it can. I want to start by saying, like, I mean, I want to say the majority of us, if we grew up with our mom, and our mom or anybody in our immediate vicinity, women or male, had makeup, wore makeup, we saw them put makeup on. And we're like, what is this stuff? That was it for me. So my makeup journey started when I was really young, and me and my sister would just jump into my mom's makeup purse or makeup bag, makeup, whatever she had, and just put on all of this color, and just have a ball with it. And we would dress up in these dresses that she had for us, and just we would have like a play date basically, and it was so fun. It was fun to just play around with the product, and even though we looked cheap and even though we looked a mess like clowns, it was really fun. And I think having that childlike sense of just playing dressed up or makeup has followed me and followed others into their life as teens or adults. And makeup has definitely, because I was born in 1994, I played with makeup probably when I was 5 years old, so like 2000s, 5 years old, 2000s. Crystal, is that even, your math is not mathing. It'll be like 1990, so like late 1990s, early 2000s, I would play with makeup, and then into middle school, high school, so on and so forth. I'm 26 now, so my makeup journey took a turn into learning more about technique and how to really shape the face, which is really fun, and it just adds on to the playfulness of these things. But I would always go into my mom's stuff and just play. And so today we're going to just talk about that. I wish I had a picture. If I go home and I can find a picture of me and my sister, I'll put it here. But I really do want to show you how I got from this to this. And again, it's not like there's a drastic change, but it's a change enough to know, like, I know a little bit of what I'm doing now. So let me prime my face. First off, let's talk about like the steps in which we put on makeup and then how it has enhanced. So when I first started makeup, all I thought was foundation, eyeshadow, lipstick, maybe mascara, right? No, there's so much more. There's much more. So let me prime my face. Hold on. I'm using the NYX primer. Right? Can you see this? Is it even doing a thing? There we go. It's the NYX primer. I never knew primer was a thing, and I never knew how it helped. I always was very minimal in my makeup, didn't know the ins and outs, but now I use primer just because I like a better stay with my makeup, and I really like that. When I first started putting on foundation, like I feel like anybody else, unless you really had somebody guiding you on your journey in makeup, your foundation probably wasn't one that matched you very often or very well. So my first foundation was also my mom's. I took hers, and we were the same complexion, at some point, but not like often. But I used hers and I was always very pasty, very bright. I wonder if I have a picture of that. If I do, I'll like link it. All the time, anytime that I explain something and like how it turned out, I will definitely put a picture here. I think the first time I put on actual foundation was in high school. So I was in high school and I used my mom's L'Oreal foundation. She had a liquid and she had a powder, and no, she had a liquid and a cream, and I would use hers, and I just put it on and it was so pasty, so pale. It was really weird, until my friend took me to Sephora for the first time and I got matched for my own complexion. I got matched to the Clinique foundation. Don't know what color it was, but I know it was Clinique. And it was really light because I feel like around that time I really wasn't going out, so I was very much lighter than I was now. So I went from L'Oreal to Clinique, and then what was this? And then fast literally forward, because I used the same foundation from high school into college, and then after college, me and my friends took a trip to Vegas where I found out about NYX. We went to a makeup, we went to Sephora while we were in Vegas, and I saw that they had a foundation. I was like, you know what, I actually want to try this. It was just the curiosity of trying foundation, and I ended up matching a foundation and using that for over the amount of time that you should use it. You know, I think it opens and then it stays good for a year. It stays good for a year, and then you kind of like go away with it. But I used mine out the ass, and I'm pretty sure I used it past its expiration date. But I used NYX, and so since then I've been a NYX lover. And so now the foundation that I use is NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop, in the shade Sienna. And I've been using this only for maybe a year now, and I like it, and I stayed with it because it works for me. And so my advice is to stay with what works for you. I think it's really nice to see what's out there and see what is fun to use and experiment. But for me, since I still think of myself as a beginner, I like comfortability, and I'm comfortable with NYX. Also, the pricing is, what is this? I think this is probably $18. I'll put the pricing somewhere around here when I figure it out. But this is like not the most expensive, and it has really good coverage. So that's what I use for my foundation. When I first started using makeup, I was always told, so you know, everyone has their own technique of doing things, right? And so I was told to use a brush, right? When they first color matched me, they told me to use a brush, and they used a brush on me. And then as I got older, they were like, brushes suck, use a sponge. And so I started using a sponge, and it was really weird to use a sponge because it felt like I was just hitting myself over and over again with a sponge. It was not like the best feeling in the world, but I got used to it. Now I see like everyone putting their makeup on with a brush. I'm like, okay. So I switched back to a brush just recently, but you can use whatever you feel comfortable with. That's the thing that I love about this stuff, is there are thousands of ways to put on makeup and apply it, and to just have your own comfort level with it. And it's so playful, and it's so fun to just play around and see what works for you. So the brush that I'm using right now is the Expert Edge foundation brush from Real Techniques foundation edge brush. Is it the best? It's not the fluffiest. It's just really good for putting on the foundation. I think there's fluffier brushes out there that you can have more of a seamless look, but I haven't purchased it. That's just it. And it's not that is expensive. I just haven't found a brush for me that I would want to actually pay for. This came in a set with a sponge and a blush brush, a highlighter brush, I think, and then maybe a highlighter brush, and then an accent brush. That brush, the accent brush, is what I use for concealer, but we are not there yet. Okay. And I think the 4 brushes with the sponge maybe cost less than $20. So as of right now, with the foundation, and I wouldn't say primer. Primer was about like less than $10. So essentially, as of right now, I'm sitting at 50. Yeah, like a 50. Also, a technique that I learned is putting the foundation on the back of your hand instead of putting it on your face, because it helps you control where the makeup goes. Right? That's something that I learned, and I really like that I learned. If you're looking for someone to actually get more like advice on this stuff, I recommend Jackie Aina. If you don't know her, well now you do, but she is well known in the beauty community, in the black beauty community too, because there's not many of us out there. I love her. She's very authentic and she helps me out. She helps me out. She's been doing this for 10 years on YouTube, but more than 10 years for her life, so I trust her. Also, what I learned is to make sure you're blending out your neck. I used to always bring down my foundation just to my jawline. What? What? I'm learning that your body is just different colors and you need to make sure that they're blending out. I know some people who match their foundation to their chest because that's where you blend it out from, but I was matched with my neck, and so I kept it that way, and so I always blend out down here. That's done. So this is our face. Now, when I started off doing makeup when I was younger, my face was very, very oily, and so I was told that you should set your face at every level. My face has not been oily for a while. My face now is a little bit more dry than it has been oily, and so I don't do that anymore. But some techniques are to set it as you go, but I feel fine. And so now we have a base, and the next thing that I like to go in and do is concealer. Concealer was something that I was introduced to in high school, but even then it was very pasty and very like pale. So I'll insert another one here. And when you have concealer that's not really, I guess, a good formula and match to your skin, you can get flashback, and flashback is what you see here. It's when you can see where the foundation divides, like where it's sectioned on your face because it doesn't blend in well. It's not the right color. So I started off, I did concealer when I was in high school. I moved away from it because I was convinced that I didn't need it. I didn't want to have it, but now I have two concealers. I started off, when I wanted to go back into like my concealer journey, I decided like, okay, you know, I want to incorporate concealer into my makeup routine. I started off with one that's just for literally concealing like the lines. It wasn't for highlighting. It matches my skin tone, and that's all it was for. Like, I didn't want to highlight any areas, and I'll show you how to highlight in a second, but I just use this just to like go over once on my eyes and my corners. I'm running out. And you can see that there's no difference. It just really just blends in. And that's what I needed it for. I just needed to figure out how to get concealer to just help me get the things that I can't normally get with my foundation. And I have dark corners on my lips, so I put the concealer there. And then here, that's good. And then a little bit here. And then I actually use my concealer to prime my eyes, because that's a technique that I was also taught. And I've also learned that some makeup pieces have dual use, so I can use it as a primer and as a concealer, and I like it. So this is a matte concealer, and so I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit so that it blends out a little bit better when it is time. And as that dries, I'm going to go in and do my eyebrows. Bro, when I was growing up, I didn't know, like I've seen some eyebrows that were, you know, questionable. I've seen some eyebrows that were really good. I just didn't want to be the person on the spectrum of being, I just didn't want to be the person to be made fun of for not doing eyebrows well, so I didn't do them at all. I didn't care to learn. I just didn't want to go through that phase of that. But now, I rather like doing my eyebrows. Like, a lot. It's just fun. And then I feel like it just helps you take your time when you're like, when you don't want to rush. Sometimes. But I find that, like with my eyebrows, I was just, afraid of being the person to do it wrong, so I didn't do it at all. And honestly, if I'm being honest, that was a fear that I actually have with makeup in general. It was something like, I didn't want to be seen as doing it wrong, so I didn't do it at all. I was like, and the excuse that I used was, it's just not for me. I don't care for makeup. But essentially, I was just afraid. I was afraid of it being too dark, too messy. And essentially, even though I was afraid of that when I started to get back into doing my brows, that's exactly what happened. My brows weren't the best. My brows looked squiggly. My brows didn't look like the right color. It being too thick, too much, too little, so I didn't do it at all. And honestly, if there's any advice I would give anyone with anything, even if it's not makeup, is you'll never get anywhere if you just don't start. You're not going to start off by having the best technique or the best anything when it comes to anything, really. Like, you have an idea in your head, and usually the idea in your head is something different than what you can make, but you have to get it out to see where you are to get better at it. And honestly, I would also say just have fun. I started off by using a spoolie. This is a professional makeup from NYX. It's like it has a spoolie at the end, and then it has this stick piece. I can just get it out. Can I do it this way? Can I do it this way? Will it show this way? Nope. And it has this like at the end of it. And the spoolie just helps the stick itself helps me get like the natural brow that I really like. And it's not too dark. It helps me like kind of feather my brows a little bit better. And so I do still incorporate a sponge into my routine. So like I said, you can do a sponge or you can do a brush, whatever. But when it comes to like blending out concealer or bronzer or contour, a sponge I think has worked best for me. I think it's worked best for other people too, but you find what works for you, right? And make sure that it's damp. A pack of 2 sponges from Real Techniques, and it costs like $9, so I would say one costs maybe $4 or $5. Let's blend it out. What I'm going to do now is go in with my highlighting concealer. This I liked because when I saw other, basically what I'm saying is the 2 people that I watch for makeup is Jackie Aina and Arnell Armand. There aren't really other people that I watch, but when I watch them do it, I learned that a highlighting concealer helps just lift your face a little bit, but also helps when you're on camera because it's to bring the light to the spots in your face that matter. Is that the right thing? Anyway, so, and I used to put it all over, like here, like all over my face, but I learned that it's really cool. Just put it in the spots, in the corner of your eye here, and then over here. This gives you a better lifted look, and then you blend it out when you're ready. And then I learned a drying technique also from Jackie because it helps blend it out better. And then I usually, oh, this is actually pretty thick. I didn't really want to put this thick of a thing here, but I will, and then I'll put some on my nose just to get a better, I guess, contoured nose. But highlighting is really good for highlighting and shaping the face, so that's what I use this for. And this concealer I think is less than $10. I think it was like $8. I'm a NYX bitch. I found something that I like and I just want to keep it. And because my forehead will be out today, I'm gonna just do this. And we dry, and I'm gonna finish my eyebrows. We're gonna blend. We're gonna blend it out. I'm gonna show you how one is, and then we're going to move on. And so when I thought of blending, it's kind of like you make sure the concealer is in like one safe space, and then you blend it out to the rest of the spaces. Instead of already putting it in the spaces you want to blend it out to, you put it in one, and then you blend it out. So you take the highlighted piece on your corner eye, just move it up. And again, this is how I like to shape my face. That's what's really fun about makeup. You get to shape your face. And another limiting belief I had about makeup is that, like, I don't want to trick people into thinking I look different. That's purely misogynistic. I'm pretty sure I got that just from being around men. Oh, women are catfishing because of their makeup. If I'm paying this money for this makeup, I want to look different. I want to shapeshift, right? And so I thought for the longest time I couldn't, or didn't want to wear makeup because I didn't want to trick anybody to think that I look different. I don't want to trick anybody to think that I look a certain way. I look a different way. But that's not on them. That's on me. This is fun for me. I do this for me. And that is all that matters. Oh my god, I cannot wait to go to my esthetician tomorrow. Because the way this face is going, it's not good. But you see what I'm talking about? Like, lift it. Ooh, okay, next. And then we do the nose. See? I look different. And I like that. Okay, so as you can see, like the nose looks kind of like weird, but like basically this is what it's basic, right? It's basic. I love it. It's good. It's great. Let me just and I don't know if you ever tried doing your brows, but just know this is what I've learned, and it has saved me frustration. Your eyebrows are sisters, not twins, and that's frustrating, but not as frustrating as trying to make them twins. Anyway, for me, I know some people can get their brows really like good, but anyway, goes in the garbage. Okay, so now we are doing contour. Now, bro, contour was a whole new beast for me, because I'm like, again, with the I don't want to change my face, I don't want people to see I'm different, fuck that, I want to be a different person. And so what I use, okay, so I learned that bronzer and contour are two different things, but you can use bronzer to contour, and you can use contour to contour, or bronze, depending on what the color is, because you can use makeup products for different uses. I like that, especially if the formula is right. So for me, when it comes to contouring my face, which I usually just use here, and then my nose, and then my forehead, everywhere. I said that like I was like a couple places. I use the Morphe bronzer in Leader, because I'm a leader. This is the bronzer. And what I do with this is I take, oh, also, let me tell you this right now. I don't use any of the right brushes, okay? I don't use any of the right brushes, but with the brush that I do use, that's not it. I use this fluffy brush here from Elf. I think this was like less than $10 too. So I just take it, my battery's dying again because, girl, I take it and I just kind of put it in the places that I want to. Like that. And I just hit it wherever I want to put it. And all around my face. This, I'm going to tell you right now, is probably not right. It's probably not right, but I put it where I need to. And I think the goal is to keep it into a smaller place. But I kind of like doing it like this and then cutting it with powder. So I'll show you that in a second, but I just put it here. I am a brand new person. Don't follow my technique, but follow my words of encouragement. Do whatever the fuck you want to do with your makeup. If you like the ending look, then love the ending look. If you don't, scrap and start over. Don't at me though. Because I'll be ready to go to war when my makeup doesn't go the way I want it to go. Look at me, look at this. This is called baking. I never did that before because I didn't know what the fuck it was. I was like, if it's like cookies, I don't want to talk. Baking is something that helps you seal in your makeup, and it helps it last longer. So I just did my corners to cut off the bronzer and my chin, nose, here and here. I don't always do it, but I'm doing it for the video. I use the NYX powder. There are baking powders. I think there's specific baking powders out there, but I just use a finishing powder, and it's translucent, so it doesn't really do much. So this is me baking cookies, and I don't leave it on there long, for me anyway. I'm going to be on camera a lot today, so I'm going to need to do that, but if I'm going out and about in the world, I don't do this. I just don't feel the need to. But this was something also that I learned from Jackie Aina and from Arnell Armand as a way just to set your makeup even more. You can do this, or you can use setting spray. It is up to you. And so leave it on for like 30 seconds. I'm gonna take my powder brush, which I don't know, it's an all-purpose brush. I don't know how much it was, but that's what I use. I think this was also less than $10. We are doing less than $10 things, guys, and I just pretty much just wipe it away. Just wipe it away. Doesn't really do much, right? Wipe it away. Some people use another powder, like for their complexion, to wipe it away. I don't have that. I haven't invested in that yet, but you can do that. I never used to do any of this. So from the highlighter and up, I didn't do any of this. And so this is all new to me as well. And so I'm just sharing what I learned. And just wipe it away. So that's all blended out and wiped away. The next thing that I'm going to do is blush, and I have a couple blushes. A couple of them don't work. I have this one, That's like a pink blush that doesn't really show up on me, and then like a ruby raz type of blush. This is more matte and this is more shimmery, and I usually do a both. I always try to hi it's me. I always try to use this one first, the matte one, to see if I can actually get it to show up on my face. I think I can today, but it is pretty like bright and could potentially be pale. It ain't doing it today, is not it. I just really want it to one day show up, but it's just too bright for me. Duh. But I tried it, and this was also less than $10. I think you see a theme here. Like, I'm not spending big bucks on my stuff. But let me put on this one. And I have this blush brush that came with the pack that I told you about. That was like maybe 20 bucks or less. And I put it on my cheeks and move upwards because I like that look for me. I like the way my face looks when I do it that way. I used to only like do like this and just put it on like the circle of my cheeks. Bro, who told me that? Like, why did I think that made sense to me? It just didn't look right for me. And honestly, I still make mistakes. So if ever I make a mistake, I just kind of blend it out and wipe it off because this had too much blush on this side. A little rosy. That's my blush. And so I am going to do highlighter, but what I want to do now for me is go in with the bronzer that I used and use it on my nose. And what brush I used for that, which is probably the wrong brush, because I always use the wrong brush. This blending brush. It's not the best brush, but I'm not the best person. Just kidding. I'm gonna take it, put a little bit on here, and just follow. And I like it. I like using a blending brush because it helps blend it out if I put too much, which I usually do. So I go from my brow to my bottom nose. Do the side. Honestly, this is just my makeup for camera. Like, I would not do this much if I was going out. And this is just how I do my nose. If you told younger Crystal that she would be doing this to her nose, she would not believe you because she was in a different mindset when it came to this stuff. This stuff is so fun, and this video honestly is just to encourage you. Like, if you want to try makeup, try it. Start small, start where you can, money wise, and just have fun. So that's it for this. Notice, so I've been telling you, I've been learning from other people. So if you're learning from me, sorry. Go to the people that I told you about. Oh, itchy. Okay, next we did blush, we did that. We're gonna do highlighter later, but we're gonna focus on the eye. So I was going to do like an eye look today, but I feel like this video has already been long enough, and so I'll probably do an eye one some other time if that makes sense for me to do, because again, I'm just talking to beginners here, and as someone who's like maybe semi-beginning, still a semi-beginner, I know how to do my eye look. So I have these few eye looks that I've done that I think are better than what I used to do. But yeah, so for the sake of time, I'm just going to do a liner, and that's pretty much what I used to do when I was younger too, just a regular liner, or just like a black, or just basic black shadow. I'm gonna go here, and you're not supposed to do this, like, you're not supposed to do this, but this is what I do. I just take my eyes and do like that, and I just do this and just go straight to the wild west. Just kidding. Also, I'm running out of liner. This is not a good video for me to be doing right now. Holiday, and then I do the next other side, and that's just basic. This liner I got from a beauty store for like $1.99. Maybe one day I'll get to the place where I don't have to do this to my eye, but I don't trust myself not to poke my eye out. Not doing this. Also, there are pads you can use for your fingers so your makeup doesn't have fingerprints in them. I do all this stuff and it's not maybe the best technique, but it's what works for me, and the look still comes out good. It's like being a gymnast, flipping, fumbling, and tumbling, but still sticking the landing, and I'm okay with that. What I didn't tell you that we're doing is lashes. Ooh, y'all gonna see me have a panic attack. I'm having a panic attack right now. I'm pooping. Please let me know that TikTok. I've been spending way too much time on TikTok, but like I've also been using it for my business. So if you don't know, I have a planner business where I make homemade planners. They're monthly, they're going into 6-month planners. I have TikTok for that. And so that's a thing, but yeah, like it's just, and so what I'm going to do now is lashes. Let me tell you how dumb I was with lashes. I honestly, like, the same mindset that said, oh, I didn't want to change the look, that I didn't want to add anything to myself. Even though now I really like wearing lashes, not all the time, but I love wearing lashes. But that was even a limiting mindset, saying like, oh, I don't want to put on lashes because I don't want to be those girls who like change their eyes. I was like, well, who am I? Who am I? They're having fun. They love what they do. And now I'm one of those girls and I love what I do. And I'm realizing that a lot of my mindset when it came to makeup is because of other people and how they viewed makeup. This shit is fun, bro. Like, you can't tell me anything else. Now watch me have a panic attack. Putting on eyelashes has definitely upped its game, because now there are ways to put your lashes on a little bit better, which is with magnetic liner. So I have a magnetic gel liner here from Ardell, and I have magnetic Ardell lashes. What kind of lashes they are? I don't know. Mink? Faux mink? I'm not sure. I forgot. But I'm using them. And so the line that I put with my liner, I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover it with the magnetic liner and then just plop the brow on there. Plop the lash on there. I want you to look me in my video eye and ask me, do I know what I'm doing? I think every time I try to do this, I fail at some point. But at the same time, I succeed. Now for the whores divorce. There's my applicator. That thing is going to dry before I even get the chance to apply it. I'm going to teach you how to do this because it's blind leading the blind at this point. Ooh, not the magnetic slip into this magnetic thing. That's why she used plastic. Oof. Seen off camera, like you saw me doing, I'm just going to compare this one. So this is going to get. I feel like not it coming off on camera. You sly bitch. Okay, here we go. Here we try again. Actually, no. Here's what I do. Where's the applicator? Where's it? Backstabbing. So this, why is it only here? Can you focus on, there we go. All the square move when I did this. Okay, so this is pretty much the final look. Only thing I did after the lashes were bottom line my eyes, and one trick that I learned is I used to really just close out my eye right into the middle. I now bring it until like it's almost there, so it's darker here and kind of like thins out until we get to here, but never into the actual corners. And then in my corners I used my NYX highlighter. It's called High Glass. I told you I'm a NYX bitch, don't at me though. Also, guess how much it was? Guess how much it was? I think it was under $10. I highlighted it in my inner corner because that's something that I learned at a young age, to highlight in your inner corner. I think it was on America's Next Top Model. I think it was that. Maybe it was like a different. Maybe it was a different makeup artist that I watched on YouTube. Anyway, I used to like religiously do my inner highlight with silver though. So I would have black liner or a black shadow with black liner closed to my eye, and then silver inner corner highlight. And I remember I used to get the comment that I have doe eyes, and I love having doe eyes because they're like really bright at the corners, and then they get really like cute and feminine in the inner corners. Yeah, so doe eyes. And then I did some, like, just a very small bit of highlighter, like around my cheeks, nose, and here. Like, it's not necessarily something that stands out, but it's something that I know it's there, that like just to add a finishing touch. And then lastly, what I would do, I have it, finishing spray. So you did primer, and that's something I haven't used before, or I wasn't accustomed to using before. But you prime your face for a longer stay, and then to just for another control, like a secondary control, because you know I'm an auditor, you would do a finishing spray. Whatever finishing spray that you like. Some people use rose water, some people use an actual finishing spray. Again, I have a NYX matte spray and then a dewy spray. And then for today, I'm just gonna use the dewy spray. Dewy spray is something that I never thought I would use because again, when I started out my makeup journey, my face was more oily than anything. So I use a lot of matte items. And even now, a lot of the stuff that I use are matte. But I like that dewy look now. And today, I kind of want it. So, I have to redo this. It's giving me Malfoy. It's giving me Potter. I also just got into lips. So, one thing that I like using for my lips would be pink. Where's my, this is brown. So on the best of days, I just use a gloss, right? But I remember using my first actual lipstick, aside from it being my mom's like red bright lipstick when I was younger. The next time I actually dealt with lipstick was when I went to Vegas and when I went to that NYX store when I first decided to get back into foundation, and I got, do I even have it here? That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? Is it even here? Hold on. Can I get this one? There it is. Okay, so I got Transylvania by, again, I'm telling you, it's by NYX. So it is their matte soft matte cream lipstick. I got Transylvania, which is like this purple, this beautiful like purple prune-ish color. It looks so good, and I think I have a picture of me in it, so I'll pop it, if I can, I'll pop it here. And I loved it, and from there I'm like, I want all of them, so I ended up getting all these different colors in the same kind of brand and type. And then I ventured out to getting lip stains, lip glosses, and then the black lipstick. I remember the first time I put this on, I felt like a bad bitch. And I remember also when I put it on, I got judgment from like my mom or just like people who were like, okay, that's pretty dark, because black lipstick or anything black is associated with something dark or bad or emo or just, you know, bad. But I like it, and I see women wearing it on a regular basis just to go to the store, and I love that for them. Am I there yet? I mean, I used to wear it to work when I was a waitress, when I was feeling witchy that day, or feeling like I can rock it that day. But I just ventured in. I think at every step, I just was curious about adding something else to my routine when I got comfortable with doing something else. And now, honestly, what I need to get more comfortable with is bronzing and shaping my face, actually. I'm not there yet. I wish I was, but I'm not, and that's fine. It wasn't a technique video. It wasn't a video to show you how to put makeup on. It was just showing you where I came from, where I am now, and encouraging you that if you want to try this out, try it out. And you don't have to have like $1,000 of worth of makeup products. And yeah, maybe the formulas will be different, and maybe you can venture out into those more expensive high-end stuff later. But if you want to try it, go for it, because, you know, fun. I'm going to try to list all the products that I used down below, and I will also list the people that I watched when learning, because obviously I'm still learning, and I just like watching people and how they do their own makeup and then applying where I seem fit to my own. If you have any beginner questions, please let me know down below in the comment section. I can answer them as best as I can. But again, this video was to encourage you to go after, you know, whatever you want when it comes to makeup, and don't let any external factors limit you. If you want to not do something, that's fine, but don't not do something because of an external means, right? Thank you. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you like this video, I do other kinds of videos. You can check it out on my channel. If you like them, stay, be a family, subscribe, do whatever you want. If you don't, that's fine. You can come back whenever you need to. But I hope this was fun. Hope this was helpful. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.